What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. Some pretty interesting new updates. A couple of articles came out in the mainstream press, which is rare. One of which, well, several of which, now purport to claim how Karmelo Anthony's family is going to spend the $500,000. And they've also asked for even more money. Now they've raised the limit, apparently, begging for more money. There's this bizarre interview where apparently a 10-year friend of Karmelo Anthony's dad has some weird insight into this, where apparently he's claiming there was some sort of racial stuff. I don't know. We're going to look into that. And we're going to look into a couple of these news stories. So if you're enjoying the coverage, or if you at least feel informed by it, please do leave a like on the video or follow. And, I'll keep you up to date, because certainly I've got to do a lot of digging with each one of these updates. Also, thank you so much, everyone who's helping me out with my Coffee Brand Coffee gift box. I just put it $10 off right now. It includes our most popular flavor, blueberry cobbler, also our delicious fresh Colombian roast, also honey sticks, yogurt covered pretzels, and our super popular chocolate covered espresso beans. The only place you can get our treats is in this box. Mother's Day is next week, but more important than that, I'm hoping, praying, asking you guys to support the channel. If you need a quick and easy Mother's Day gift, this is it. Or if you yourself drink coffee and you want to pick up this special gift box on Amazon, it's $10 off and has free overnight shipping. I have to move my entire inventory by next Friday, or my coffee business is in serious trouble. I'm just being honest with you. So even if you're not looking for a Mother's Day gift, this is still a great deal. Link in the description. Please help me out by picking it up today. There's a $10 coupon, so don't miss that. Let's get into this. Karmelo Anthony family plans $500,000 for donations after a Texas track incident revealed by fundraising executives. So now we know, apparently, the fundraising executive has revealed now, also begging for even more money. So they had quietly raised this to $550,000. Then it was at 500. Then they quietly raised it to 550 after reaching their goal, and they didn't even hit 550. And now they've raised it to 600,000. They've offered zero updates to the thousands of people that have donated. Here's another moron giving $100, donating another $100 just to piss off the white supremacists. Here's $500 from an anonymous giver. It's very curious to me. A lot of these, look, I don't have any problem with black folks at all. And it just seems like the people who are donating to this do. So let's actually start with this interview, which was done by apparently somebody named Mr. Denali. It's very suspicious. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it seems like there's a lot of speculation here. Part of what I'm trying to do is be fair and honest. I've gotten things wrong about the Karmelo Anthony case, most famously, whether or not they had purchased this new home as it was purported by mainstream media. Mainstream media didn't correct that story, but I did. I corrected and said, look, no, that wasn't the case. So I try to keep fair and balanced here. There is something about this video that is suspect, but let's hear a little bit of it.
Do you have any questions for Mark Anthony, 10-year friend of Andrew Anthony, Karmelo Anthony's dad?
I do, and thank you for coming on the platform and giving us some insight from your point of view, Mr. Anthony. The question I have is, you mentioned earlier that the brother said that they had taken his backpack. Is that accurate? So if that was the case, how was he able to get the poker out of the backpack?
So this is a new bit of information. Allegedly, the Metcalf boys took Karmelo Anthony's backpack and chucked it. That has not been confirmed literally anywhere, but it is what his friend is saying here.
They threw it. They took it.
So they took the poker.
And he went back to.
And then again, they both know how to say poker instead of knife because of TikTok. So again, be careful here.
Retrieve it.
He threw his backpack. He went to retrieve it.
And they're coming and they're walking toward him. And he says, I'm going to punch you in the face inward.
So Karmelo Anthony called. Now, they don't clarify who said that, but I think it's Karmelo Anthony that calls the white boys the N-word here.
They threw it. And they took it.
So they took the poker.
And he went back to retrieve it. And they're coming and they're walking toward him. And he says, I'm going to punch you in the face inward. And so here comes all this weight at him. So allegedly, I think this will come out. Allegedly, a hand is thrown. And
a hand is thrown.
Karmelo is trying to block it.
So apparently he's claiming that the Metcalf boys punched him or tried to punch him.
Before this is said, though, he says, I'm going to punch you in the face. He goes, touch me again and see what happens. Well, he tried to touch him. Karmelo tried to block it. And then a little pokey happened.
This is a little pokey happened? I mean, you mean he took his life?
I shouldn't say a little.
So they grabbed the bag. They threw the bag. Karmelo went to retrieve the bag. Mm-hmm. And that's how he was able to get his hand on the poker.
Poker. Why are they calling it that?
Right. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier to the young lady when I said, if I took her purse and tossed it and she's going to get her stuff and she had a pew-pew in there and, defended herself against me.
No,
I was just trying to put that together
and
in a
you're
different
saying
way.
that a racial slur was said to Karmelo.
Oh, yeah.
So he's trying to say that the white kids used a racial slur.
Where did you hear this information from, Mr.?
That would be on the front page of the news if that were true. I am very suspect. And I will also say this. Even if that's true, it's just a word. You don't get to take someone's life over it.
Anthony.
Oh, that I heard in the bond hearing when they were trying to, and he came out and it was admitted. That was all said.
So has that been reported in the press?
The race car, this and that. It was.
My question, Mr. Anthony,
those were the words.
All that you're saying now, there were other people at the bond here, and I'm assuming there were
and
press
no
people
one
there,
said
correct?
that.
Correct.
And not one person reported this.
There wasn't. They didn't.
Yeah,
really
but there
well
were some press people there, correct?
Well, I can speak to that because I did watch a report. I think it was on ABC 7, where they had a round table with two reporters and an anchor person, and they kind of went through what was going on in the bond hearing. So there is some press there.
So my question is, this is the first time that I'm hearing anything about what occurred in the bond hearing, and my assumption is if there were press people there, they would have put this information out.
But you know what? They're not, and they've already. It's like
this is where this guy, he loses me a little bit. Look, if the Metcalf boy used that language, he was wrong for it. Does it mean that Karmelo Anthony gets to take his life? No. I struggle to believe that word was used and not a single witness said that. Not a single witness reported that the Metcalf boys threw the backpack. Not a single reporter, and you know how they love to race bait, not a single reporter said that the N-word was used. Not even the discount race grifter from Next Generation Action Network. You know dang well that dude would have said, if there was any inclination that there was this type of verbiage used, he would have said something about it. He would have used that to fundraise. There's 100% no doubt about it. Like, legitimately zero doubt. So the guy kind of loses me there a little bit with this, first of all, the details part, the new details about throwing the backpack, okay, maybe that's true. The N-word thing, I feel really skeptical I don't feel skeptical that a white guy could say that to a black person. I feel skeptical that the entire mainstream media wouldn't have reported that, given how they love to do this kind of stuff. Here's what accused Karmelo Anthony family plans to do with the $515,000 raised following questions about their fancy house. Karmelo Anthony's family now plans to use, in an interview, I guess, with Gifts and Go, some of the $515,000 from a fundraising campaign on living expenses after an alleged, the incident became viral. Most of the money will go to the 17-year-old's legal defense fund, Jacob Wells, Gifts and Go's co-founder, told Fox News. They've been very clear that the vast bulk of this money is going to be used for Karmelo's legal defense. Wells said they've indicated that some of it will be used to provide them some security, some much needed security. He added, they don't need security. We now know that all the claims of, them being under attack are simply not true. There were a couple of kids with super soakers, water toys that drove by their house and didn't even know that Karmelo lived there. That they're trying to say, we're threatening them. Even the dad, Karmelo Anthony's dad, has said that's not true. They weren't threatening them. So they're going to use it all. So apparently, Wells said some of the funds are going to be paying for a secure location for the entire family to live. Donations on the Gifts and Go platform, similar to GoFundMe, reached $515,000 on Wednesday and have continued climbing even after his bond was lowered. But questions emerged after it was reported the family was living in a $900,000 rental house and an exclusive gated community along with flashy rides in the driveway. Wells said he'd spoken directly with the Anthony family to address those concerns, prompting them to update their fundraiser description to clearly explain where the money is going. Gifts and Go also sent an email to the donors explaining where the funds were headed. 0 people responded saying, I want my money back. Wells said the family would continue to pay the $3,500 a month rent in the home in the gated community while renting a second home. It's very, very interesting to me. This kid doesn't need a secure home. The bizarre statements that are coming out are also very weird. Having the guy who runs the Gifts and Go now coming out. And look, I understand Jacob Wells standing on business and saying like, hey, I'm not going to take this fundraiser away. We're just going to leave it as is. Sure. But it's really clear to me that this is still very suspect. And I also noticed that the guy, after being exposed, the Next Generation Action Network guy, sure has disappeared really quick. I'm wondering if the Karmelo Anthony family has fired him, which would actually be really smart. I hope you're informed by this video. Please do help the channel out. Mother's Day is next weekend, but even if not Mother's Day, help me out by picking up one of these gift boxes on Amazon. There's free next day shipping on it, and there's a $10 coupon. If you haven't got a Mother's Day gift, it's perfect. And if you just want to support the channel and try out a good mix of our offering at Coffee Brand Coffee, I definitely need to move all of these by next Friday. So I'm asking, hoping, practically begging for your help to try it out because I just know you're going to love it. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you again real soon.